there, this is Jackie Bolin coming to you from Busan, South Korea, and I'm going to talk about one of my favorite activities that I do for my ESL speaking classes. It's called Just a Minute, and it's an idea that I got from watching a presentation. Someone was talking about Toastmasters, and this is kind of what they do at the beginning of some of their meetings. It's just a quick warm-up, and it can also be a really great warm-up for you before your ESL speaking classes. It works great from beginners to advanced, and you just have to adjust the time and the topics depending on the level. So you can either write a bunch of topics on the board, or you can elicit them from your students. So some examples are hobbies, jobs, movies, famous people, food, restaurants, I don't know, just anything you want, it's possible. So write down maybe 7 or 8 topics, and then put the students into groups of 4 and have them number themselves 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can scrunch up a piece of paper and then give it to one student, tell them throw it at the board, and whatever the paper hits closest to, whatever topic, that's the topic that the first student has to talk about for 1 minute. So for example, they throw the paper, it gets really close to hobbies, so you say, okay, number 1 student, you have 1 minute, you need to talk about hobbies, and you can't stop talking. That's the challenge. So even pauses like or I don't know, encourage your students that that's bad and that they should try to avoid those if at all possible. So you're working on fluent speaking, and tell them even if kind of some strange things come out of their mouth or it's not grammatically perfect, don't worry about it, but they just need to keep talking. And at the end of the minute, I'll usually say, okay, stop, 1 minute is up, or I'll have a beeper or a timer or something like that. And then I'll ask the students, okay, who did the challenge? Who completed the challenge? And some students will say yes, and I'll say, okay, great, pat yourself on the back, or I'll tell their teammates to pat them on the back. And if they didn't, I'll say, okay, well next time you have another chance, so don't worry about it. Or we'll do it in a couple weeks from now, and you'll have another chance to complete the challenge. And so you can erase that board or that topic if it was hobbies from the board, and then another student can throw the paper again, whatever thing it hits closest to, maybe jobs, and you could say, okay, student number 2, talk for 1 minute about jobs. So an optional variation that you could do for higher level students is to have the other 3 members of that group listen carefully, and then they must ask one interesting, relevant question to the student who is talking. So it's just a way to encourage active listening if you are not the person who's actually talking. Alright, so if you want 38 more low prep, no prep ESL speaking activities, head on over to Amazon and get my book. I'll put the link down in the notes below. Also check out eslspeaking.org. There are plenty of games, activities, and resources that I think you'll find useful for your ESL speaking classrooms.